What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of The Capsule. I was at Red Bull's Dance Your Style World Finals 2025 in Los Angeles, California. And as always, I have some thoughts. So let's get into it. All right, so the first thing I will say is I know that there's Red Bull branding on this microphone, and also that, full transparency, Red Bull did bring me out to Los Angeles for the event. I did some content work with them and Red Bull UK. However, there is no, Red Bull aren't seeing this pod before it comes out. So you can rest assured my opinions are honest and open. And, I have to also say, Red Bull have been really great in saying to me consistently and repeatedly, give your honest opinions on stuff, don't try not to feel swayed by anything, and just they want my honest opinions, which is really nice. And a lot of times companies don't do stuff like that, so I think that's nice. And it's nice that they value the honesty. Having said that, they haven't heard this pod yet, so let's see how they feel after this. No, I'm joking. I don't have a lot of bad things to say. The thing I was going to say with that disclaimer is when I don't, there's things that, I would change about certain events, or things that I don't like about other events, blah, blah, blah. But when you do see a bit of the behind the scenes, and you do have certain conversations, and you do kind of get a bit more information on what people are doing, it's hard not to have empathy for the I don't want to say agenda, because that sounds negative, but the aims of what they're going for, I think when I first saw Dance Your Style, I was a bit I don't know how I feel about this. And I think the more and more I've understood what it is and what they want it to be, the more I've been okay, cool. I kind of understand it. I have a bit more empathy for what the aims are, or what the objective is with this competition. And same with other things. There's events that, when I view them just as a spectator that paid money to go in, I'm a lot more harsh on. And then when I know the people that organize it, or I'm kind of part of the behind the scenes for whatever reason, I have a bit more empathy when things aren't perfect. I'm yeah, but I know why that wasn't perfect. And both sides of that are not wrong, I think. So when people, me or other people, criticize an event as a ticket buying audience member, I don't think you can excuse their experience by giving reasons for why the event was delayed for an hour, for example. Not Red Bull, I'm talking in general. Or why this thing happened, or why you can't say, but there's a reason for it. It's but the experience that they got was still, they were just delayed for an hour without any reasoning, right? And that you can't take away from their negative experience by explaining the reasons why. Obviously, it's nice to know it wasn't just from incompetence or whatever. And then vice versa, it's being behind the scenes, I understand a bit more. And it's there's how do I say that? I understand a bit more the agenda, but I still understand that maybe people don't like certain things about, let's say, Dance Your Style, or they don't like how it comes across or whatever. That's so fine. And I think both opinions or viewpoints are valid, for all the people that were there, part of the event, whether they were dancing, whether they were just working on it, I think there's always going to be a different experience for those versus the people that either watched online or just came to spectate. So obviously I'm going to give you my opinions always from the perspective that I have. Sometimes that's going to be as a ticket buying audience member. Sometimes that's going to be from behind the scenes. Sometimes I try and do a mix as best as I can. So yeah, all that to say, I'm going to try and give you a bit of a balanced perspective on all things Dance Your Style 2025. So the first thing I'll start with is the week program. So for those that don't know, Dance Your Style, whenever it's a world final, this is now the second one I've been at, but not the second one I've been aware of. I've been aware of them before, but obviously the world final is just one day. the week leading up to, so in LA, it was from Tuesday, I think same in India, it was Tuesday until, let's call it Friday, or even Saturday, there was other stuff happening, that there's like a week full of stuff. Most of that, I believe, is only for like kind of people who are part of the like program. So invited dancers, people that won world finals, like a lot of creators and influencers are there, and we'll get back to that in a second. Staff, like all that sort of thing. So throughout the week, you've got like workshops, classes. In LA, it was at Playground. You also had kind of excursions. I think Daniel from Stance did like a morning hike. There was a guy called Carl, I want to say Flores, like Karl. He's a personal trainer, I think, on Instagram. I actually really like his content. I got it right, Carl Flores. Yeah, and he does some really cool content actually online. But he ran some stuff in the mornings, it's like a rise and shine. I don't know if I don't want to call it yoga, but like, it was like maybe a morning training type of vibe, but like a light one. So that was really cool. I think there was like physios. There was stuff like more, how do I say that? More cute vibes of like, they did like a vintage shopping excursion. They did a mansion tour. They did a like a cowboy experience. They did like a line dancing thing. And then you had obviously the pre-finals, which I'll get onto in a minute. You had a battle royale thing on the Friday night, which is like in between so you have Tuesday is the welcome party and a few like things, I think. And then you've got Wednesday, Thursday, where there's like workshops and sort of excursions and stuff throughout the day. In the evening on Wednesday and Thursday, you have the pre-finals. I'll explain what they are, like I said. And then Friday is the day between the pre-finals and the world final, which is Saturday. And on the Friday, you have like this battle royale. You have the bracket reveal for who's battling who on the Saturday. You had like a full Krump battle. So there's stuff happening throughout the week. It is a really fun week, and there is a lot going on. Some of the battles towards the end of the week were open. The pre-finals are open to anyone. I do feel like, and this could be a perspective thing of like what I saw versus what I didn't see, but it felt like a lot of the stuff, the excursions and the activities, was kind of catered more towards the creators and the influencers that came. So every I guess country or whatever would bring like different guests, you know, and some of them had like the winner of the final in their country. They also had their like dance ambassadors. They also had some like creators and influencers that they brought to like make content on behalf of their country, I guess. And then Red Bull HQ brought their like creators and stuff as well. And yeah, I feel like a lot of the stuff was like, was designed for like making TikTok dances or for posting online, or, you know, like kind of cute things that were like felt more creator focused than like battler focused. I may be wrong, because I think it's also nice to, you know, these type of events, it's not a like hardcore battle event. So I think it is nice to have like different stuff to do. I know some of the dancers went on like the morning hike and stuff. I think that's really nice to have like, all right, you do all these battles, but like now that Red Bull have a bit more capacity to make bigger stuff and bring other people in, they do these kind of activities that are like nice breaks from the norm, you know. I think that is nice. I also think it's a balance, because I'm more on the battle side. I'm more on, like, you know, that's the world I grew up in, and that's where all my friendship circles are and stuff. But I think it's like, you do in a way like need these influencers and these creators to like bring attention to the event, because yeah, I mean, the whole point of Dance Your Style is to like appeal to a wider audience, and a lot of these creators do appeal to a wider audience. As much as we have, you know, battles that are huge or battlers that are huge, one thing that I think we fail at a lot is like appealing outside of our niche, and we don't even try to really. We're just like, these are our fucking rounds, and if you don't like them, you don't like them, you know. Whereas like these kind of creators are very good at like appealing to a bigger audience. I think that one thing I will say is that all the people that are in Dance Your Style for the last few years, or at least on the main stage and the wildcards and stuff, have been real battlers. I do think this is really important, and I think this is something I hope Red Bull, I mean, I'm pretty sure they know this from what I've seen and the conversations that I've had. I'm pretty sure they know this, but I think like the battlers are really important to Dance Your Style, even if it's not a hardcore battle event, because I think the way that the event is run, the things that people do on stage and the way they hit certain moments and the things that go viral are, yes, it's because of the music. Yes, it's because it's a big stage and a big company, but also because battlers spend years and years and years and years and years learning how to like hone their skills, package their rounds, know how to hit certain moments at certain times. And it's like a lot of the stuff that you're seeing on the big stage, even if it's like looks performative and looks like crowd pleasing, it is battle skills that they're employing for that type of effect, if that makes sense. So I think it's really important that the battle community stays connected with Dance Your Style. I think there's a balance to be struck, because I think it is nice to have some people who are less hardcore battlers come in and shake things up a little bit. I actually think that's something we need in the UK for Dance Your Style, is like we have a huge like commercial or choreography scene, and like I've spoken about this off pod, but like someone like Will West would be such a sick Dance Your Style wildcard for the UK, I think. And it's like people like that who are not like hardcore battlers but still have freestyle skills would be great, I think. By the way, guys, I didn't say, but Sophia's here.
Hi.
And she's got a mic, so Sophia,
Hello.
say what's up. So yeah, just in case her voice comes out of nowhere at some point and you think there's a ghost in your room. We also have Inesh in the place, so if you see some awesome pictures and stuff, that is from her. So that was a random intro in the middle of a segment, but it's all good. So yeah, I think the battlers, like I think having them connected with the community is really important, and I think if one year the whole battle scene didn't enter and you had like people that replaced them who were like more like creator influencer type of people, I think you would see like a drastic drop in the level of Dance Your Style. And I think that is something to, you know, it's easy to see someone with like 500,000 followers who's a dancer, in air quotes. Like, not to say that every creator is not a dancer, because there's people like MIK who are like good friends of mine, and they are incredible battlers and freestylers in their own right. They also happen to have like 1 million followers online, multiple millions of followers. But there are other people who are creators who aren't actually dancers. They just do dance stuff like challenges or whatever, but they're not freestyle. Even if they are dancers, they're not freestylers. And I think that's the thing to balance, is like, yes, we need the, you know, the influencers and the creators to bring attention to this thing, and I think that's a great thing to do, but we also need to balance that we have to understand that the competitors that this event is built on need to be battlers every year, and I think they need to kind of maintain that balance, which they have so far. Like, there was some real, you know, being at the event in LA, like there was a lot of people there who were like actually from the battle scene, you know, whether they were involved from a consultation perspective, whether they were in the battle, whether they were just there as ambassadors from their country. Like, you do see a lot of people who are like real dancers there, so or real battlers, let's say. So yeah, that is, I mean, that's mostly the stuff from the week that I thought. I mean, if we go into the pre-finals, the point of the pre-finals is that there was 53 countries that Red Bull went to do qualifiers. All those winners get flown out to LA. There were a few winners that didn't get visas. I think maybe because of the country that they're from, but also because of the States might be difficult to get visas for certain people for work and stuff. I don't know if it counts as work, but you get the vibes. So they have like 48 or so people that came. Now, you can't really put 48 people on stage in one day and do showcases and do stuff like that and still keep an audience's attention, especially if they're not hardcore dance audiences. So what they do is 2 days of pre-finals. These 2 days of pre-finals find 6 winners, and in addition to the 6 winners, they have 2 MVPs. We're going to come back to the MVP conversation. The pre-finals last year were they split everyone into 2, I want to say like top 24s, I think. 2 days of top 24. And then they found like 3 winners from each one, plus an MVP from each one. So that made up the top 8. It was like 4 from one day, 4 from the second day. This year they changed it, and they did the first day of the pre-finals was all the top 48 battles. Then the second day was then the next 2 rounds of battles, which found the top 6 on the second day, and the 2 MVPs were brought back on the second day. I think this is an I think it's cool that they still try new formats and new ways of doing things. I think the thing I found on the first pre-final day was like, it was a long-ish event. You know, you had showcases and stuff, and I want to talk about the showcases as well, but you had all the battles happening, right? And when you usually have 2 or 3 hours of battles, the reason it's not such a long day is because you feel like there's progression. You know, you see the top 16, that's quite long, and then you see the top 8, and then you see the top 4, and it's like the day is like moving upwards in the competition. So you're kind of like feeling like, all right, we're halfway through. All right, we're 3/4 of the way through. With this, it was like 3 hours or 2 hours or whatever it was, but of just all battles on the same round. You know, they were all top 48 battles. And that means not only was there no sense of progression, but it also was like each time you're being introduced to a new pair. Like in normal battles, you got like, oh, this person's battling the top 8, but I've seen them both win in the top 16. So I saw how well they did, and now I'm seeing them again. So that it like builds up this kind of storyline or sense of progression in your head. Whereas this one, it's like, you know, after 2 hours, you're still like, and here's John and Dave. And I'm like, who are John? I haven't seen them before. And it's like, after a while, that starts to become a bit like, a little bit monotonous. Although the flip side of that is it's also a bit like, you're seeing fresh people all the time, so it could be fun in a way, ? Yeah, so then they had some showcases on the first night, which were, was it on the first night? Yeah. So showcases on the first night were House of Ninja, King Charles Creation Global, which is Chicago Footwork, and then Dream Team 901, which is a Memphis Jookin collective or crew. The Chicago Footwork and the Memphis Jookin for me were the highlights of the entire night. They were so sick. They were about, I want to call it 10, 15 minutes each, something like that. It could have even been 20, but they were like not a 5-minute quick showcase. And what I thought was really sick about both of those was like they did a really good job of like bringing like cultural elements to the stage. So, for example, I don't remember which one it was actually. One of them had an MC that like hosted the showcase with them. I think it was Chicago Footwork. I could be wrong. Sophia, if you can bring it up, their showcase. But basically, it was like they really brought the like whole feeling of the culture that style came from to the stage in the way they dance, in the formation, the transitions. Like I think one thing we have in the UK, which is a bit of a, and I would go so far as to say sometimes in Europe, but definitely in the UK, is like we have such a long established choreographic scene here, whether it's commercial, whether it's like more the crew based stuff. But what I think we do a lot here is like we have, let's say, a popping showcase, a house showcase, whatever, but we format it how the only way we know, which is like we format it based on like choreography format. So all the transitions, all the way of, all the formations, transitions, way of building the set, like all that stuff is really choreo based, especially our shorter like 5-minute showcases or whatever. It's all like how, people have done choreo showcases for a long time. And with Chicago Footwork and the Memphis Jookin showcase, they didn't really do any of that. Like it felt very like this is how we do things and we're putting that on stage, which I thought was really fucking sick. Not to mention the styles are cool as shit. The dancers are phenomenal. I'm biased as hell because Memphis Jookin is like by far my favorite style. And yeah, I thought they killed it. It's really dope to see like the authentic shit like in person. And yeah, so I thought they were really dope. It was a really nice showcase. I think another mistake we make a lot of times is like there's a battle that's like a popping battle, and then we have a popping showcase as part of a popping battle, and it's like I've just seen 2 hours of popping, and sometimes the showcase is not as big as the not as good as the poppers that are in the battle, and then if that's a whole thing. So I think for me the best ways to do a showcase is like have something that's not at all represented in the battles, and it's just like a nice little refreshing breath of air in terms of the dance, the music, everything. So yeah, they were super dope. And then the second day showcases, they had a team battle, which was Team USA versus the Red Bull All-Stars. It was interesting. Even the lineup was super dope from both teams. You had Storyboard P, Rage, like all sorts of dope people in the American team. The Red Bull team was like stacked as shit. Like everyone on there was like killers. It was literally like Dream Team vibes, at least for me. The thing with the crew battles, and this is where I'll talk a little bit about the hosts as well, is like, and I had this same issue last year with the crew battles, the builder crew battles they were called at the Dance Your Style World Finals. I think when you have crew battles, even for b-boys who do crew battle, or breaking crews who do crew battles all the time, the hosts still really control the battle, because what happens is it turns into a bit of chaos. Like even a 5-on-5 or a 4-on-4 can, but this was 8v8. That's 16 dancers on a stage that's built for 2 dancers really. And I think what happens is like when you don't have, you say, all right, you've got 20 minutes to just go off. When nobody's controlling the round length, which I get, you don't want to have to. And like with breakers, you often don't have to give them time. Even in solo battles, you don't have to give them time limits, because they just, they don't do long rounds. Like even the longest round of a breaker is like a minute, even if they really go for ages. But top styles dancers, you've seen some judge showcases that are like 7 minutes long, So top style dancers will go off, and that's the people that are like used to crew battles. Some people aren't used to crew battles, so they don't know when it's time to like finish up or whatever. And if you've got only 20 minutes with 16 dancers, you kind of need to get it cracking, to like keep it moving. And on top of that, there's things of like people just moving closer and closer in. You need to tell them to like stand back. And I think this is where the hosts, they were good hosts in the sense that it was Yoey and Shiapatra from the council. You might have seen them on Instagram. They do like some cool stuff. They've got a big following. They're really like good personalities. Like they're really fun and friendly and outgoing. So in that sense, they were good. I just think it's when you obviously I know what Red Bull are trying to do with like having people that are like, obviously they are dancers and they do battle and stuff like that. But if you're not used to it's not about being in the battles. If you're not used to hosting battles or crew battles, there's little things that like you don't know when is your chance to like overstep, or when is your chance, like when is your moment to step in and do something or say something, and when you should just let things go. Because there are a few moments where I'm like looking at the host going, this is your job, like sort this out. Like for example, some of the rounds went on for like a long time, and like there would be like, this is the whole reason why a commando in breaking was invented, is like, you don't want to just have one person go dance for 45 seconds and then they just come off, and then another person from their team goes, oh yeah, I also want to go, and just jumps in, because then maybe a third person wants to go. And this is what happened last year in the builder team battles, is like, it was just like one by one everyone from the team went, and it's like, that's not really how this is supposed to work. And that kind of happened in places here. It would be like, you know, someone from the America team went, and then another person went, and it wasn't really linked. And it's like, if you're going to do that, have multiple people in a round, A, the rounds have to be shorter to make them more impactful, and B, you have to link them. Like, you have to have a little commando to bring the next person in, or you can't just, another person jumps in and starts dancing. And I think this is where the host should have been like, you know, no, it's their turn or whatever. Also, in terms of if somebody's going on for like 3 minutes or whatever, you kind of need to, the host, you might not enforce a time limit of like, it's been a minute, but you do need to kind of be like, all right, like, next dancer, or let them have a turn or whatever. Also, telling the crews to stand back when it gets too close, because if they don't have room to dance, someone's going to get hurt, and also the audience can't see. So you kind of need the host to come in and stand on stage and physically be like, get the fuck back, which you will see if you watch breaking crew battles. They tell them over and over, stand back, stand back, stand back. You might not notice it, but the crews notice it, and you see them like move back. Also, there was one moment, if you watch, go on Stella Muerti, I can't say his name, but Stella's Instagram, there's a funny video, maybe we can put it on screen, Inish, where basically the Team America, like, they did this kind of like Doctor Strange, you know, like opening a portal thing, and another dancer, they already had 8 people on stage, another dancer came and joined and jumped up on stage. Yes, that no, the one below. Yeah, and you see Stella, like when he comes up, he starts to join in, and you see Stella like just take his hand in the middle and just drag him off stage and be like, no, bye. And like, he stays on stage. But the thing is, the whole way through the rest of the battle, and like, I think the reason they brought him on stage was like, he must be in their crew or something, and they had a couple of like routines with him in, I think. But like, the whole way through, the Red Bull dancer like gesturing to him and being like, get him off stage kind of thing. And it's like, this is where me as a host, I'm not a battle host, but I think if I did it, I would be stepping in to make a decision. Either say, yo, let him, like, he's in, let him stay, like, we're allowing it. Or, excuse me, sir, please, can you leave the stage? Because there's already 16 dancers on the stage, and also we didn't authorize it, you know, whatever it is. But I think this is where, like, it was a bit chaos. Like, it needed to be, like, someone needed to step in and say something, because it was just, the Red Bull dancers are looking around going, what's happening? Because if you're allowed to do that, can we bring 7 more people on stage? And like, you know what I mean? So yeah, I think this is where it was a really cool battle. But I think it would, same with the builder team battles, I think when you do crew battles, it's not the same as a one-on-one battle that you just add more people. It's a whole different dynamic, and if you don't have dancers that know all these things about crew battles, you need hosts that are going to control it and tell them what's going on. If you want also 16 dancers to shine, you need time limits. I think I would call it like 30, 45 second rounds, and just have it more quick fire and have them do multiple rounds. Because otherwise it's like, we see them do 1 round each, and it's not really a crew battle. It's a bit like 16 showcases in a way. Also, there was a bit of like controversy, I'll put in air quotes, about Rage, because I think he jumped in at one point and was like kind of aggressive. He was crumping. It wasn't necessarily aggressive, but he was kind of in everyone's face. And I think at one point he kind of like grabbed Kyoka's head in a bit of a headlock. I mean, he let her go immediately, but he kind of like grabbed her in a headlock, and then he was like, he did something on Rubik's, like he kind of like sliced across his chest with his hand. Like, I think. And then basically I saw a few things on Twitter, and I don't know if it was on YouTube as well, Insta, whatever, but people kind of being like, what the fuck? This is disrespectful, blah, blah, blah. Then I looked at who was posting it, and it was all like, from what I saw, all like Kyoka fan accounts. And I think, and like Rage kind of like apologized on his story, saying, you know, like, if anything came across disrespectful, I'm sorry, blah, 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 whatever. I was in the room. I don't think Rage has anything to apologize for. as an audience member. I didn't see it as disrespectful necessarily. He cut across someone's round at some point, but like everybody was doing that shit. Storyboard P cut across people's rounds like 4 times. So I don't find that disrespectful. It was just a bit of a chaotic crew battle. I more blame the host for that. I think in terms of what he did, it's like Krump, this has always been a thing for years and years now, where Krump does allow more contact than the other styles. And when it's a mixed styles battle, Krumpers don't change their thing. And then the hip hop dancers or the poppers are like, oh, he touched my shoulder. And it's like, that's how they do things. So again, it's from an organization perspective. If you're having Krumpers in, have the conversation and be like, yo, just for this one, we're not going to do any contact. I understand that you're a Krumper, but it's a mixed style battle, blah, 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 blah. You know, or you say to everyone else, we've got 3 Krumpers. We are going to allow Krump rules and the contact. So, you know, if you sign up for this, you know what you're going into. They might touch you. Obviously, if it goes too far, again, hosts, like that's where you step in. It didn't look like he hurt Kyoka. It didn't look like he hurt Rubik's. I think the other thing is, like, for people online that are like, you know, Twitter fingers, like, I think one thing you have to remember is that these dancers all know each other. A lot of them have worked. When you get to this like upper echelon of like the top dancers, I'm not saying everybody knows each other, but they're all very aware of each other. They all have either worked together, they're aware of each other, or they're like a friend of a friend. So one thing is like, yes, they're going at it for battles and stuff. Like you even saw, if you look at Circle Underground as an example, Team Germany versus LDDLM.
Los Diablos.
Yeah, LDDLM, yeah. I think. There we go. Sorry, guys. Like, they were going at it hardcore, but like Diablo and Majid work together. They're on the Red Bull All-Stars thing. So anything you see tension between them is not real, because I can vouch for, I saw them hanging out and chilling in LA. Like, they don't hate each other. It's just when it's time to battle, it's time to battle. When it, as Diablo says, it's like when it's time to defend your message, you know, which I think is a great saying, by the way. So when you see these people battling, it's like people online, fucking relax. Like, you don't know them. You don't know what their issues are or what the, you know, thing is. And a lot of time, these are grown adult professionals who, if anything, if Rage did owe an apology, it would be off stage, behind the scenes, to Kyoka personally. Like, I don't think, like, the public apology for me is like, I don't need that. As an audience member, I don't need you to apologize to me personally, because I didn't take anything he did as disrespectful. Now, if Kyoka feels like you owe her an apology, that's between you two, and that's nothing to do with me, and that's nothing to do with anyone else in the audience or online. So yeah, I think that thing was like nothing. It was a nothing burger. But yeah, like I said, it was Kyoka fan thing. So these fan accounts are like, I mean, they're going to probably see this and post this. But the fan accounts are great. We love you all, especially the twins ones. No, but like, yeah, I mean, all these fan accounts are just like, you know, a lot of times they're just teenagers who are in love with their famous dancer, and it's like they're not people. It's not, you know, people who are battling regularly, like, I'm gonna start a Kyoka fan account, or I'm gonna start a Le Twins fan account, because they get it, you know, and they're kind of part of the scene. Anyway, so that was that. There was, okay, so I have a bone to pick, guys.
Lean in.
The lean in.
Serious business.
I have a bone to pick. Red Bull. So, here is my issue. There was a kid called Ian. I believe he's from Austria. Who battled. His rounds went viral on Stance, so you probably... Slovenia, my bad. Not Austria. I think did I see him in Austria? He's friends with the Austrian kid I saw him with all the time. Anyway... Ian from Slovenia. He was fantastic. He blew up the room.
That's really young.
He's 16. Yeah, it's crazy when you see his rounds that he's 16. Now, here's my issue with the Ian situation. I will never say that there is a robbery at Dance Your Style. I can't say that, because the aim of the game, funnily enough, is not to be the best dancer. In a objective sense. It's not who's a better dancer. It's who can get the crowd to vote for them. Now, the format that they've put it in is a dance competition. So the idea is you're going to dance and hopefully the crowd votes for the best dancer. Now, we all know if there's friends in the audience, they're going to vote for their friend. If there's people that liked the way that they danced to a certain song or whatever, they're not necessarily looking for foundations and technique and creativity. They're just like, who did I like the best? That's what Dance Your Style is, right? So you can't say someone got robbed if the audience didn't vote for them. You could say if this was a real battle with objective judges, this person would have won. And I think that happened multiple times. I think, we can get onto that, but I think when Diablo lost to Jaira, I think she won in a Dance Your Style context. In a normal battle, all styles battle or hip hop battle, I think Diablo wins. But that's because we value different things than the audience do, right? Now, with Ian, I would say he got robbed. The reason I say he got robbed is because, now, I could be wrong. I, of course, could be wrong. However, I don't think I am. This is my favorite saying. It's just my opinion, but I think I'm right. I was in the room and I was in a position where I could see the room. I was on like a dancer's podium and the majority of the audience were in front of me because I was up at the back. We're going to watch it and we're going to talk about it, but he battled this guy, Ryan is also very good. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying anything negative against Ryan. However, Ian blew up the room. And a lot of people voted for Ian. And you can see it on the video because basically I'm just in front of where the camera is filming from. Shout out to No Limits, by the way. Good friends of mine. We love No Limits. But I'm right in front of the camera. And Sophia and Inez, you can tell me if I'm bugging on this one. Because he did the 2 rounds, blew up the room. The audience vote. In my opinion and in my view, Ian won. Right? Based on the crowd votes, not on the dance. It looks like more people voted for him. Even so much so that the way it was happening is like, obviously the hosts need to wait for Red Bull to confirm who won, right? But what had been happening is like, all right, they look around the 2 dancers when the vote has been voted and they kind of decide between them, like, all right, I lost. So sometimes it would be like before the hosts even announce it, the losing dancer would go over and be like, nice battle kind of thing. Or the winning dancer would go and be like, nice, but because I know they're about to announce me because clearly the whole fucking room is blue. And there was a couple of like blowouts where it's like I posted one on my Insta story about like you look around and it's like I don't see a single red vote, and I know your friends are here as well. But yeah, with this one, I think at the end of the first 2 rounds, it's Ian. They call a tie. So yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Ian went and said like, well done to Ryan. Like, I got this. That's how much it looked like. I thought he won, and the hosts are taking ages and they're looking around going, like, I know they're waiting for Red Bull, but they're kind of stalling. And I'm like, no, like, I was pissed, like, because people started going, one more round, and you hear it in the video. And I was like, fucking no, it's not one more round. And I'm like, I stood up and I'm like pointing at it. And like, there was someone on the other side who was like, what? And we caught eyes and I was like, it's not what, like someone that I knew. I was like, it's not one more round. He won. Like, I'm like, this is bullshit if they call one more round because I'm like, look around. Like, again, I could be wrong, guys. But I'm like, he won. Then they call one more round and I'm like, you fucking kidding me. And then in all fairness, Ryan did get in the way we tend to judge battles. And if you judge differently, tell me. But like, it's like, okay, you have the 1 or 2 rounds. If it goes to a tie, then you judge the last round by itself. Like, you don't say, okay, he won 2, but then the other person won 1, so that person still wins. Like, you kind of go the extra round, who won that, and you vote based on that, right? So if I'm doing that, Ryan did win the 3rd round and deserves to go through. However, I don't think it should have gone to a tie. I think Ian won. So let's have a look at just the first 2 rounds, right? Oh yeah, this kid is 16. It's crazy. Shout out Jimmy. Back to the bounce. this first round from Ryan was very strong. Like, judging as a dance judge, I even would maybe give this first round to Ryan.
Yeah, but they have very different approaches.
Yeah. But again, it's not about who's the better dancer, it's about the crowd. You can tell me when it gets to the crowd version.
Yeah. Must be so hype in America. Like everyone's like, yeah.
People were going crazy. So just for anyone that's not a dance judge, one thing is like when you do similar stuff to the other person, it's easier for us to compare. So if one person does floor work and one person does waving, that's hard to judge against each other. So it's good battle tactics. The fact that Ryan did some floor work stuff, like when he does that against Ian, it's hard because it's like Ian's stuff is so much cleaner and better that it already puts you at a disadvantage. Not that that's saying that's why he would lose this round, but just a way of thinking about it. I mean, this isn't a bad round at all from Ryan, but it's not doing what Ian's did. So for me, I'm like, I think Ryan got the first round by a little bit. If I'm judging as a dance judge, you can leave it plain. So I think, yeah, the first round he got by a little bit. I think the second round, Ian took him by a lot. So I would go for Ian based on those two rounds. Now, let's have a look at these. Does that look more red or more blue? I'm seeing more red.
Yeah, I'm seeing more red too.
Do you know anyone else? Like, people at home, please comment and let me know. Like, thanks to No Limits for showing the crowd like that. Because for me, that looks more red.
But I think this side looks quite blue too. But I think it's also they saw that it was hype, so they probably were like, we can do one more round.
Yeah,
because, you know.
yeah, but... Okay, I'm going to say that. So this one more round, I was like, no. Like, I was like, he won.
But yeah, it looks quite red.
Oh, we're gonna do one more. Let's go!
Okay, you can pause it there. So, here's the thing. I get if you're trying to do like, you know, it's hype, we want one more round. But this is what happened where I'm like, I think Ian deserved to go through. Like, he killed, and even in the round before that. Now, there's a round against Sun Lam that he won to the Killers in the Jungle. Have you seen that?
No.
Listen, pull that one up. So he does this round to that song against Sun Lam, and he absolutely fucking murders it. Like he blows up the room. So it's like he does, like he killed all his stuff. He was really fresh. Like he killed it all the way through. And I think the thing that's such a shame is like, yes, I get for the for the hype of the day, a one more round is cool. However, what happened is Ian got tired, Ryan won, and now it's like Ian didn't get to go to the main stage because of the one more round, which was hype for the audience. But I'm like, that's not fair on Ian. Like, he deserves to go through in a competition sense, if you know what I mean. Like, I get if you're kind of being like, it's not a completely objective competition and like we just want to make it like a exciting showcase and stuff like that. I get that. But I do think when you have a 16-year-old that like killed it that much, the room loved him, and he doesn't get a chance to go to the world finals, and I think he would have blown it up on the world finals, like the main stage, I mean. Like, yeah, I just think it's a shame. I think it's not that nice to him. I would have put him through just because it's like, if the name of the game is get the audience, I think he got the audience. The other thing is like Ryan was kind of motioning to be like, oh, he's doing breaking kind of thing. And I heard a couple of other from non-Red Bull stuff, but like from just people being like, oh, I wonder if it was because he did some like breaking stuff. And
is it forbidden completely?
Well, this is the thing. It's like Dance Your Style and BC1 are supposed to be separate things. And the rule for all the qualifiers and all the world finals, whatever, is like you're not allowed to do breaking. Or it's not, put it this way, it's like you're not allowed to be a breaker. Like Lilu couldn't enter you know what I mean? The thing is, this is a whole other conversation, but breaking isn't just floor work and just tricks. Like, so what Ian was doing, I would classify as like tricks. Yes, they're like based on breaking steps or moves, but they're tricks. Like, breaking is a cultural dance. It's not just anything on the floor. So I think this is where, and again, this is disclaimer, I don't know anything about the internal conversations with Red Bull. I'll tell you when I know stuff. I don't know anything about their decision making on this. I think when you try and, if this is the case, and when you try and separate breaking and top styles, you can't do it by just saying anything on the floor is breaking, because it's not. Like, house dance has a massive part of it that is floor work that looks like breaking. If you do house dance floor work off house music, you could be very much forgiven for thinking that person is doing breaking. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of the stuff that's in house dance floor work comes from breaking. Same with a lot of hip hop stuff. If you watch Alex the Cage do a floor work round on a dance hall song and you don't know him, you might say, oh, that guy's a breaker. He's not at all a breaker. He trains breaking, he trains capoeira or whatever, but Alex is not a breaker by identity. He's a hip hop dancer. But because these styles evolved next to each other or around each other, there's so much bleed into each other of different things, even like culturally, the way things developed. So breaking is its own cultural dance. So if you're saying no breaking, that's a very hard thing to separate just by looking at it and going like, oh, even Ryan being like, oh, you're doing breaking. I get it's battle tactics, and like I would have done the same shit to try and put him off, or like to get the audience, But if we're taking that thing as like an objective, like, oh, he's doing breaking, it's like, no, he's not. He's doing floor work based tricks, and so did Ryan. So, and some of Ryan's stuff comes from that. A lot of the floor work in the rest of Top Styles comes from breaking. Like, so I think that's an open conversation, but I think it's very difficult to say that like if you're saying in Dance Your Style you cannot have breakers outside of someone identifying as a breaker, like when is the line when someone's doing breaking or not? Because like I said, Alex the Cage is a great example. Can do an entire round on the floor and it's still not breaking, because there's certain nuances to know. It's like I could do a whole footwork round and a house dancer could be like, well, that's not fucking house. Like, I could do an entire round of just footwork that I've learned through hip hop on a house song. And I've done that. Like, sometimes I play around with it for fun because the tempo is quite fast and fun, fun to play with the rhythms. It's still not house dance. Like, you know what I mean? And I could teach you footwork to a house song. I still wouldn't be teaching you house, and it's very like, it's a whole cultural conversation. But yeah, I think that's a really important thing to get to. You want to have a quick look at this? Because you guys haven't seen it.
Yeah, sure.
I think it's the second round. I mean, listen, Sun Lam is incredible as well. He's got some sick stuff. Nice guy as well. Already a good round, and I was like, yeah. Oh, that's me! Getting in the way, I got so good. Who's this idiot in the way? It's me! Sorry, no limits! Oh shit, I did, you know what, in that moment I stood up and immediately went, oh shit, maybe I'm in the camera, and sat back down. You know what? It so doesn't do it justice to like how hyped the room was.
Yeah.
Like if you watch it, you hear the crowd, but it's like it's really different. Like when you feel when you feel people going crazy. Yeah. I mean, shout out Ian. I think he's dope.
He's
I think
good.
if anything, it might have worked. Like I know he might not feel like it worked out in his favor, but people love an underdog, and I think it almost adds to the like lore of him where it's like, yeah, he should have been on the final stage but he didn't, and he blew it up, but like he blew it up where not everyone saw it, and he was a bit of like, you know, not the main focus, and it almost makes us like, I think when people can feel like, oh, there's this hidden gem that I know about that like maybe you don't know about, like the wider public don't know about, I think it's like it builds like a more of a core fan base for a dancer. So I think actually like this might benefit Ian in the sense of like he's really, like me included, like he's really gained some fans from this, and the fact that I feel like he should have gone through, I think will really work in his favor of like, yeah, I'm really like watching for this guy now in a way that I'm not from anyone else really on the world final stage, I think. So yeah, shout out to him. He's also 16. He's got loads of time. He's going to be incredible. I think hip hop wise, not that anyone asked me, I think he's got some work to do in the sense of like building up the rest of his stuff to like flow with his tricks. Like when he does a trick, it's incredible. And that, like Jaira also has this kind of disjointed style sometimes, which we don't tend to like in the battle scene. I think in the dance your style stage, it works because the audience aren't looking for those things. But I think like someone like Ian, Jaira is also like this, where they're younger, of course, so it makes more sense. But like this flow and like continuity throughout the round, which you see with like Diablo, Luciano, these more older, experienced people, Hiroko, the whole round makes sense. It's a story from beginning to end. I think some of the dancers, like, you know, talking about the world finals as well, like Jaira, even David has moments of this, although he's a lot better at it. But I think it's also something that David could work on transparently, is like the flow throughout the round, where I think sometimes you find them like reaching for what works. It's like Jaira would like in her rounds, like she did something and then it's like, okay, now I'm doing lock-in, now I'm doing this, now I'm going to do a few moves of this. And it's like for the audience, they're like, oh, that's exciting. But like, and again, Jaira might have been dancing in a certain way because it was dance your style. But like, and I think Ian, this is also what I'm saying about Ian, where it's like the tricks and stuff kind of almost are like, oh, I need something here, let me throw in a trick. Whereas like if you watch like Alex, if you watch like, who else has good tricks? I mean, even Deadson back in the day, but I mean, Icy, if you watch other people like that, they build their tricks into the flow, into the round, and you kind of see the narrative and how they get into it, get out of it, and how it makes sense within the round. I think if Ian builds up that alongside the strength of these tricks and like his dance itself, like this is the thing, Alex is known for his floor work, but if he did a whole round stood up, he'd still be one of the best dancers in the world. And I think this is where Ian like could the other stuff would catch up to his floor work. He's going to be insane, but he's got so much time. Yeah, all right, talking about the world finals, the main event. It was at the Intuit Dome, which is where the LA Clippers play, which is absolutely fucking ginormous. I think there was 10,000 people in the room.
Whoa.
That's a lot of people.
Insane.
However, bearing in mind, like, not all of them are ticket buying people. Like, there's the dancers, there's all the guests, there's like invited people, there's staff, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to call it 7,500. I reckon there's, 2,500 who are like invited or whatever, maybe even more. But still, that's a lot of people that like, bought a ticket and came. Also, even if they are invited guests, that's a huge number of people in the audience. I think for me, it was a bit too big. I benefited because I was on stage, which is great. If you ever get the chance, I recommend it. It's a great experience to be on stage. So many people sent screenshots of me.
Oh my God, you look so cool with your sunglasses. Look at you.
I am pretty cool guy. No, it was very bright on stage, so I thought I'll keep my sunglasses on.
Yeah, right.
No, because all the lights are facing on the... Anyway, whatever. and I look cool, so fuck off.
This is how I get treated daily, by the way.
You're welcome. But yeah, I think being in the audience, like you had all the floor seating, and the stage was kind of, you looked up at the floor, and then you had the like raked seating, I guess you call it. And that I came in there, so I kind of saw the view, and it is really far. I think it's really far, which is hard for the audience. Also, the screens were like the middle one was obscured a bit by the rig, by the set. And then you had two screens either side. But in order to watch the screens, to see close-ups, you had to like look away from the stage and then look back and then look away. So you kind of lose something there. In addition to the fact that when you have like a huge venue like that, you do lose some of the vibe in the room. Because also, like the energy like kind of just dissipates over the top of everybody's heads. It doesn't really like hit the way it does in a smaller, like more compressed room. But I think it looked good on the broadcast, which I think is a lot of like there's more audience maybe than what's in the room. And the stage was really cool. Yeah, I don't know what else I can say about that. Like, I think it was really well done. Like the floor, I don't know how well you can see it on like the videos and stuff, but the floor was like an LED thing, and there was like designs and like stuff that came up on the floor, which was really cool. One little thing that I would say is that every time they even did it on the pre-final. Oh no, actually the pre-finals they have stickers on the stage. On this, you have the red side and the blue side, but then when it goes dark for the votes, you actually like don't like they do like a wash on the stage and you don't see the red side. So everybody's voting red and I'm like, oh sick. Wait, who's red again? Who's red? Oh shit. And then I'm like, and then the host go, oh, this side won. I'm like, oh, okay, now. But so there's a moment where you kind of lose who is which side, I think. And if you're a bit late holding up your vote, I'm like, oh fuck, wait, who am I voting for again? But yeah. What else was I gonna say? Battles wise, I think there was some good battles. I think for me, like from a UK perspective, I was really surprised by Paris. I thought she did really good because she tends to be not a purist, but she's about the dance and the arts. She's not like I want to, perform, and I don't know, like she doesn't seem like she's very commercially inclined. She likes to do theatre. She, even in her popping, she's very true to herself. So I mean, Diablo had that, or Jean-Michel had that thing where he just was like, I'm going to do me. If you don't like it, all good. Actually, the round that you don't see on the live stream is that he got So Be It by the Clips, which I was gassed about. It's a great song for him, and like he actually got to dance proper hip hop. And like Nemesis from the Philippines, who he was against, like they both went off to that. It was a shame it wasn't on the main thing. But yeah, Paris was like, she really like performed and like played the dance your style game, and like, you know, did things with the environment, and like that's Nemesis, like played for the crowd and stuff, and they loved her, and I think it was really cool. She won her first round against Ryan, who was the guy that beat Ian, and then she lost in the second round to someone who I forget who it was, but she did really good. And so there was basically David lost. Can you bring up David's round? Because I think it was to Jaira he lost in the
Top 8.
semis. Was it top 8?
Because
she beat Jaira, beat Jean-Michel, and then
he was against Paris.
yeah, he beat Paris.
Okay.
So then I think it would be the top 4. Yeah,
Jaira.
he lost against Jaira.
Oh, yeah. But she
And
won, yeah.
I mean, people were saying in the comments on the live stream, on the Red Bull live stream, like, oh, David didn't lose that, blah blah blah, this is a robbery. And again, I go back to my earlier point, it's like the crowd voted for him, and that was when I was on stage, I could see the entire 10,000 people, like they voted for Jaira. I like, if it was a actual dance battle, yeah, maybe I would have voted differently, but the dance your style thing is like, who's, you know, killing it, who's the most entertaining, who performed the best. Like, this is kind of the thing with dance your style, is like you can make up your criteria. Like, I mean,
It's so hard to judge. I know they have like an AI system, right?
whether they have an AI system or
it
not.
doesn't look. Oh my god, I would not be able to.
Yeah, but also you're looking at them swiping the camera across, not like the whole. You can see the whole
Yeah.
stage at once.
Yeah, true.
Like if you're on stage, the host can see like.
Right.
So you kind of get more of a sense of it. And I do think they voted for her.
Right.
Like I didn't disagree with that one at all. In a dance context, maybe I would have voted for David, but it doesn't mean he got robbed. And then so this is the thing in the finals, right? Also, like it went to a tie break, and a lot of people were like, that shouldn't have been a tie, Waxy won, blah blah blah. But that is one where I was like, I actually might have called this a tie. Because it looked really close. And if anything, those 2 rounds looked maybe more towards Jaira. So the fact that they went to an extra round kind of, in my opinion, went more on Waxy's favour, even though people were like, no, Waxy should have won the first 2 or whatever. And this is the thing where it's like, when you're looking at home, you're like, oh, that person won or that person didn't win. And I think, you know, as we're seeing, like watching these rounds back, like it's so different in the room to how it is on video. And when you see it on video, you can be like detached from it and be like, meh. Like I said that about when at Battle Bad, like there's some of the rounds that I watched and I was like, holy shit, that was like, he's cooking. And then when I watched the video back, I was like, oh yeah, it's an okay round. But it's like, it shows you the difference of like watching it online versus being in the room. But the people in the room are the ones voting. So dance doesn't translate 100%. Like there's a vibe, there's a connection to it that doesn't translate through video. And yes, you know, if Summer Dance have the people in the room vote and the people online vote, which I think if you're going to do crowd vote, that's kind of cool. But Red Bull just have the people at home, the people in the room vote. So you can't really disagree with them because you're not there. And there's a whole whatever chunk of percentage that you're missing being not in the room, you know? On the AI thing,
Yeah.
I kind of don't believe that there's an AI thing,
Okay.
to be honest with you. I think it's like someone just looking and calling it from like they might have like a higher camera and something, like,
Interesting.
but I don't. They said that, when did they say that? In India?
No, in Berlin when we were.
In Berlin. They didn't, I don't think they said it on stage that there's an AI, maybe they did, but I don't know. I'd love to see it, Red Bull, if you want to show me behind the scenes,
Yeah.
and can we do a little, if you want to give us a little tour behind the scenes and we can do a video about it, I would love to. But yeah, I don't necessarily believe there's an AI. I think it's just someone calling it. Which, you know, that also works, but yeah, it's whether or not you think they get it right or wrong. Yeah, I think like Jaira was really cool. There was a few people being like, oh, she didn't have as many like memorable moments as like MT Pop or whoever won before that, I can't remember. But
Was it?
like even like they were saying like D
Oh,
Saraki had
Disaraki.
that memorable finals, then you had MT and whatever.
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
waxy.
that's true.
Like there wasn't like necessarily a viral round or something from her, I guess. But I mean, also that's not the aim of the game, is to go viral. I mean, is it? I don't know. It's like the point is to win the fucking competition, and she did. She got the crowd's vote and whatever. She's really good, and also she's a lot younger. So these people like Saraki or MT Pop, again, they're seasoned battlers that have been doing this for like decades. So they have moves that they know are gonna blow up and go crazy. You know, they have stuff that it will stand out on purpose because that's skills they've honed battling. I'm not saying Jaira doesn't, and I'm not saying she isn't a seasoned battler, but she's not as seasoned as like MT Pop or Saraki, if we're using them as examples. She's a really, really good dancer and a fantastic performer, which is why I think she won. Like her dance like reads so well on a huge stage. Like it's very clean as fuck. The dynamics are really strong. She'll go from like slow to fast to slow to stopping to fast. Like, and she's really good at the dynamics and that type of thing. And I think that's really what's needed on Dance Your Style stage. Like some of these, like I think this is why Jean-Michel lost, is like he's a fantastic dancer, but I think some of these details is like someone who's not trying to see and read details, just like a passive audience member, they might not pick up on the same stuff that I did. Whereas with Jaira, it's like you can't not pick up on everything. You know what I mean? She makes it so easy to like read and so clear. So yeah, I think she did a fantastic job also. And she was really strong and really like none of the rounds were like less strong than the other rounds. She was just consistently like clean and good throughout the battle. Music wise, I wasn't in love with everything. I think this is where to finish on the same point that I started on, with the empathy and the understanding behind the scenes. Like, I love having the table here. I can massage it as I talk. So speaking of the empathy,
I don't know what to say.
but like I get it, right? Because there's a lot that Red Bull have to consider. First of all, is like they need to bring in a huge worldwide audience. They put so much money, so much time, so many resources into this battle, which is great, but they need to get something back out of it, of course. And you know, part of that is they need to get these things out to a wide audience. Yes, the actual battle itself is great, but there's 10,000 people in the room, which is great, but 10K views on something is like we get 10K views on our reels. Like, that's not huge. They get millions through like Stance, through No Limits, through their own channels, on millions on TikTok, on Insta, on different Insta channels, on YouTube clips, YouTube shorts. So that generates like not only brand awareness, but also an income as well. So Red Bull do need to, you know, do these things where they need to do songs that they know are going to go viral and they know that people want to see dancers dancing to. This is the selling point of Dance Your Style. And it's something that we could tap into a lot more. I mean, I fucking always drone on about music on this podcast, but it's like we choose these like obscure tracks that are like sometimes just difficult to fucking listen to, let alone like dance to. And then we're like, oh, why did my round go viral? It's like, well, the main thing besides you dancing is the music. The third thing is the close. I think for me, it's like, it's in order of what gets people's attention in a dance video. It's like the dance, the dance and the music sometimes are interchangeable. I'll watch a bad dancer to a good song sometimes, and vice versa. You can watch a good dance to a bad song, but less. So I think it's like the dance, music, and what you're wearing. These three things are like if you're watching a skater, it's like there's the tricks, there's the obstacle, there's the challenge of it. Like for us, you know, for outside people, it's just the dance and the music. And so you need to choose these songs that are like well-known, popular. Even if for us they're overplayed, it's like part of what helps them go viral, because then everyone goes, oh, but I've never seen someone dance to it. Oh, that's really cool, blah, blah, blah. And then the other thing is that basically Red Bull have to like license all of the songs, basically, because when you're it's not the same as us putting on a dance battle and putting it out on our YouTube. when you're a company or a brand that's using these things to advertise, there's different rules and there's different fees that you have to pay, and it costs them a shitload. And again, I don't know behind the scenes. I don't know exact numbers. Probably wouldn't share even if I did. But I know for a fact it's a lot to license all these songs. And the more popular, the more current, those songs are like way more expensive. And certain record labels will not allow it. They'll charge more. Certain artists will be like, no, I don't want to license this. So you have a lot to navigate to even get enough songs for the top 8, let alone the top 16, let alone the pre-finals, whatever.
Yeah. Also, they have to relicense every year. Like, it's not like they buy it once and then it's forever theirs. Like, they have to like go through this process.
Yeah, so there's so much to it that's difficult. And I think, you know, you're going to pay a shitload. You're going to put like for example, in the top 6, you can see it, I think, on No Limits and maybe Stance's channel, but it wasn't on the Red Bull live stream. But Diablo and Nemesis dance to So Be It by the Clips. I would love to see the whole of Dance Your Style to songs like that, like good kind of like songs that we would actually dance to. It doesn't have to be only hip hop stuff. It can be also like house, and it could also, but like a good fucking house song. Like the clip of Rory and Jev. Like that's a Dance Your Style moment. Like
that's the charisma effect.
Yeah, like that song on the Dance Your Style stage with like a good house dancer going off to it. You're telling me the audience wouldn't go crazy for that?
Yeah.
But then does it go as viral as someone dancing to like Bruno Mars? Or arguably yes. Like if you get the right, and this is what I think I would say, and again, I'm not in charge of Red Bull for a reason, because I would lose the whole company a lot of money. I'd make a great event, but we would lose a shitload of money after that. But like, I think for me, it would be it would be great if there was more of a balance between these songs that we know will go viral and good songs from the battle world and from the cultural styles that are being utilized that we know would blow up if the right dancer dances on them. Do you know what I mean? And there was a few like Hiroko Boogie got a couple of like locking songs that are like actual locking songs or whatever, like actual funk songs. Like I said, Diablo got So Be It, which was a highlight moment for me. But it's like, you know, you got a locker or a whacker on the stage. It's like there's songs that they would like talk to the I mean, Hans, I don't know how you say his name, but he was a great DJ. He's only working with what he's given in terms of what they can license. So cut him some slack. He killed it in the pre-finals. And like even in the breaks of the pre-finals, he was like, no, the stuff that didn't have to be licensed, he was killing it. But on the world final stage, he just has to play what is given to him. So you can't really do much with that. But yeah, like I think if they found, like I said, that charisma track that Rory and Jev danced to, like good fucking songs that like and this is the thing that I think we miss, even in the battle scene, but I think Red Bull also miss, is like Red Bull are what they're kind of, what it seems their format at the moment is we're going to show videos of people dancing to songs that you love, normal non-dance audience people, and you're going to love it because you're hearing something that you love and you're seeing someone dance to it really well, which I think is working at the moment. But what they could add into that strategy, I think, is, and if they wanted to be really culturally like, you know, the way they are with like, I don't know, some of the rap stuff that they do, like having Joey Badass, Big Sean and Ab Soul in a cypher. Red Bull did that. My mum doesn't fucking know who Ab Soul is. And Joey Badass just had a beef with like West Coast people who are like friends with Ab Soul, and they addressed it in the cypher, which is such a cool fucking like this is a side tangent, but that's such a cool cultural moment that happened on a Red Bull video, which is a really dope thing. Like Red Bull not got lucky, but like that's a really cool thing for them. And I think say with dance, it's like you could also add into your strategy, Red Bull, to that, like not only are you going to hear stuff that you know and see someone dancing to it, you're going to see dancers dance to songs that you didn't know you wanted to hear, like that charisma song. Like I never knew I loved that song before I saw Rory and Jev dance to it, and now the fact that I saw them dance to it the first time I heard that song means I will forever love that song, because that moment is like embedded in my head. So I think it's like when you have these phenomenal dancers, you have a huge stage, you have like the chance for millions of people to see it. You could also introduce them to songs that they might not know that are gonna blow up. And like, it doesn't have to be completely brand new songs. Just take a quick peek in the battle scene. Like, I wouldn't be mad if like straight after Rory and Jev danced to that song in the, then they played that song in the Dance Your Style finals. It's like, all right, cool. It's like a little bit of a recycled one, but it's still a song that the general public aren't gonna know. And you have evidence that it's going to blow up. So I think that was what I would love to see, is a bit, and it would be easier to license. Like, I guarantee you, Charisma's letting it go for cheaper than fucking Missy Elliott's letting go. Her, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, I think there are some like gems that if you paired it with the right dancer, like not the whole battle, but now and then, like throw some underground, like unknown ones, and let people come to Dance Your Style to discover good songs. Not only discover good dancers dancing to songs that they know, like they could come and be like, yo, I want to hear the latest dope hip hop and house tracks. It's like, and I say this about the wider battle scene, but we should be the connoisseurs of music. Like when it's like, people that are like, oh yeah, I'm a hip hop dancer. That's what I do with my life. I'm a hip hop dancer. And it's like, have you listened to the new fucking, I don't know, who's it? Like, you listen to the new Tyler album, you listen to the new Clips album, who's like a younger artist, like you listen to the new, like, I don't know, Young Thug or these type of Gunna albums, and they're like, oh no, who's that? And I'm like, how, it doesn't make sense to me that there's a disconnect, that you're like I'm not Gunna's audience necessarily, but I listen to his album. Like, it's the culture that I'm involved in and the dance that I do. So I want to understand the music as well as I understand the dance. And sometimes I end up liking it. There's some really sick tracks from people that I didn't think I was gonna like Kendrick Lamar featured on whose album, Playboi Carti's album, and like Kendrick Lamar's on there, and like I went and checked out Playboi Carti's album because I was like, oh, it's just a new album that came out, I'm interested in music, let me check it. And then I heard this song with Kendrick Lamar, I forget the name of it, and I was like, yo, this song is still one of my favorite songs. I was like, this is a banger. And like, who would have known that I would have found a song that I had on repeat on a fucking Playboi Carti album? And I don't even know if it was the good credits. There's another one on that I Am Music album that I loved. I forget the name of it. Bring up the track list from that one just so I can remember. But yeah, I think that the whole point is like that. Like, for example, that Playboi Carti song, like it's a commercial popular song, but it's not like a viral Missy Elliott whatever that song is called. So yeah, I don't know, like I think that would be Backdoor. Backdoor, that was a track. But yeah, I think that would be a really nice step forward from Red Bull if they brought in a few underground songs that, again, maybe were easier to license. Like, I wonder if this Backdoor track, I mean, it's not necessarily a battle track, but like if that by Playboi Carti was like a possibility to license more than like fucking a Bad Bunny song.
Yeah, but I feel like there's also a thing about like their songs being clean and stuff now.
But Red Bull can't advertise to under 16s. That's the whole thing of Red Bull. Yeah. Like in some countries it's under 18s because they're an energy drink. So this, I mean, I get that the media
the live stream
goes, but
like I don't see them.
I mean, they did the
Playboi Carti song.
Yeah, but they did fucking Doechii, and they just blanked out. I mean, that annoyed me because yes, the Doechii song is great, but it's like it's like a fucking Tele-X remix. Like, but it's like, you know what I mean? It's like they cut out all the swear words in the Doechii song. So I'm like, so you can have swearing songs in there, you just do the clean version.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I just think that's something that I think could be filtered in over the next coming years, and it would make Red Bull feel a lot more, Dance Your Style feel a lot more grounded. Because I think that's what they lose a bit, which they have in BC1 in the World Finals. It's like, it's a very grounded feeling. I think Dance Your Style it can at moments feel a bit disconnected and a bit more like showcasey, whatever, and not like a grounded battle of dance, which I think the audience can sense a little bit. And I think again, there's a reason I'm not in charge of Dance Your Style for Red Bull. It's not because I didn't apply for the role, trust me, it's my skills. But I would say it's like the more you go towards the audience, the more you can lose them. Like the audience want to meet you 50-50 and they want to be like, all right, this is like accessible, but they want to feel like they found it and they want to feel like they are like enjoying something of on a cultural level, you know? It's like, what's a good example? I mean, maybe like a Christopher Nolan movie. It's like accessible for the wider audience. It's big, there's explosions, you know, but at the same time, it's an artistic film.
Yeah.
Or like Denis Villeneuve, like this type of thing. Like,
yeah, that's a good example.
Yeah, it's like, it's a big blockbuster movie, so it's accessible. Like my mum or anyone could just sit down and enjoy. I don't have to be like, oh, I'm a film nerd and I have to understand this. But at the same time, it is like there's stuff in there. So you're kind of meeting 50-50 where you're like, oh, there's some details in there if I want to look. But also if I want to just sit back and enjoy the explosions, I can. And I think we need that. We need Denis Villeneuve to direct Dance Your Style. Like, you know what I mean? Like it needs
Red
to be.
Bull, you heard it.
Yeah, just get him in as creative director. And then it's like, you get the big, you know, you get the Bad Bunny or whatever the pop-in song is of the moment. But then you also get those charisma moments. You also get So Be It. You also get Playboy Carti or these like more underground tracks that would have gone off. Yeah, that's my thoughts. Also, Little John was there. He performed. That was really fucking cool to be on stage with him. Not like as if I was performing. But like just to be on stage, they're like, oh fucking, and like he did all the tracks that like we grew up on. Snap Your Fingers, do your step, and this is like what before I was ever a dancer, before I ever cared about battles or anything like that. We would be in parties doing Snap Your Fingers, the fucking what's this Young Jock like it's going down, all that shit. The fucking Walk It Out, Chicken Noodle Soup, like this is all the like stuff that we would do when I was like 15 before I ever knew there was a dance scene that existed. So yeah, anyway, it was nice to like see him on stage. That was cool.
I like this thing that they're doing with like bringing the artist and analyzing like the dancers dancing their songs.
Yeah, that's really cool. And like they had Mel B, I think, who was it that brought her? One of the countries.
Oh yeah,
like because they played a Spice Girls song.
Yeah, they play like "Wannabe" and she was like, oh my God.
Yeah. Mel B was like in the audience reacting.
Yeah, it's really cool.
But yeah, Sophia, anything that I missed or any questions or anything that the audience might have that you can think of?
Not really. I would just get massive FOMO every time. I just want to be there.
It is cool.
Like, how was the crowd? Yeah, that's true.
Crowd was really cool. Again, it's like in the big dome, you lose a bit of energy. But like the pre-finals was really cool. The other battles, like the Battle Royale and the Krump battle, it was like super hype. That was on the Friday.
Oh yeah, was there a Krump battle?
Yeah. I don't want to finish on a negative, so I'll say something nice after this.
Oh,
but
sorry.
No, it's okay. But like they had on the Friday night a program, and I think the program was a little bit like that's where I would have changed things. They had like a media red carpet thing, which was actually kind of cool. Yeah. I didn't dress up or like go to the media because it's just not my thing. But like they had, you know, the guy that does the on the red carpet, he does the like the slow motion. It's like the actual guy from the Hollywood one that they brought. And so everyone like got dressed up in their suits and stuff. I'm just not gonna dress up in a suit. It's just not my thing. Also to go then sit for 3 hours to watch a dance battle in a fucking suit after, I'm like, oh, good, thanks. But it was really cool, like as a feature for everyone, and it like made everyone feel special. And,
I saw the little videos. Everyone was.
I think it's cute. I think they should do more stuff like that, and I think it's nice. But then they had that from like I want to say 5 to 6, no. 4 to something like that earlier in the evening. Okay. Then they had the bracket reveal, which was like, you know, all the people for the Saturday, they decided who was battling who, and they did that as a little event. Then they had an entire Krump battle. Then they started prelims for the Battle Royale. And there was 108 people, and they all got a minute each. And it was a bit of a slow turn. So it'd be like, right, 5 people up on stage, they called their names. And like the host was great, but it's just like when you're not used to these quick, like just get through the prelim. It was like, okay, you 5 off stage. After they're already all off stage, then he calls the next 5. Yeah. Then they have to all come down. It's like while these 5 are dancing, call the next 5 and get them ready by the stage. So as soon as they're off, the next 5 come on. You know, like so it was a quite a slow turnaround.
Yeah.
And then from that they picked an 8, and then it went into the Battle Royale thing. So it was a long evening.
Right.
So I think they should have done the prelims another time. Like either on the previous day or during the day or something. Like they should have just chopped the prelims out. I wouldn't have minded a long day if it was like red carpet, bracket reveal, Krump battle, Battle Royale, go home. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, there's loads of shit to see. But yeah, it was that part was a bit like it made the day really long.
Right.
What was the original question you asked me?
How was
Krump battle.
Yeah.
Krump battle was sick. Really
Okay,
fucking
wicked.
cool. Yeah,
Nice.
really fun.
And was it like invited people? Was it more like an open thing?
That's a good question. I didn't see the beginning. Like, I didn't see before, so I don't know if
okay.
it was invited only or if they had done a prelim and when they did it, because I was at the red carpet in the other thing, so I didn't see the...
And was it mainly like US dancers?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Some really good people that I also not super familiar with the Krump scene, so I wouldn't be able to tell you who people are by sight. They're just people that I was like, oh, they're fucking dope. And like, obviously Krump is so good at like getting the crowd
It's
as
hype.
well.
Yeah, it's hype.
And at a dancer style thing where people are already primed to be involved, like having Krump is then the people at double, you know, like ready to be involved, you know.
Okay.
And yeah, what else? I mean, that was it. I think like I said, it was a really dope event. Oh, that was what I was going to say. They announced that next year's in Zurich.
Yes,
Not
representing the
All right.
Swiss.
All right, you're from the French side.
Guten Tag.
No, you're from the French side.
Willkommen
Stay on your side. Pick a side and stay
in
there.
der Schweiz.
No, you're French. Sophia is from
Zurich
Lausanne.
The Germans.
Exactly. So it's
I
not
will
you.
do my best.
No, but yes, in Zurich, I think it'd be interesting to see what they do in terms of program because, like, obviously you had Frankfurt, the German one. Yeah. Then you've had like South Africa, India, blah blah blah. And I think the thing with the European ones is like it's really easy to travel. Like in the States, it's not that easy to travel. You can't just fly to LA from New York. It's expensive.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Same with Canada. Yeah. It's like for them, it's like the same as us flying to like Africa or something. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, first of all, it's a long distance and the flights, and they don't do cheap flights. Even their cheap flights are like $300, $400. So it's not easy to just fly in for stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas in Europe, it is like we can hold, even though Zurich and Switzerland is fucking expensive once you're there.
Hey.
It is fucking expensive. I know you guys earn a big salary, but fucking our London salaries ain't shit out there.
Yeah,
but
I know something about that.
What I was going to say is it's very easy for us to get like a £50 flight to Zurich, you know, if we book at the right time. I mean, when I used to go to Geneva, like I was there like twice a month, and it's like sometimes I get like this was 10 years ago, but like I would get like £30 flights to like return.
No, even now,
so if you book at a certain time, you can get 30, 50, less than £100, which is still cheap for most. Like,
okay, guys,
dancers.
book your tickets now.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. Depending on the program, I'm sure it's already been decided or whatever, but depending on the program that Zurich go for, they could really get a big influx of like people, because if they have like, you know, India had an open 2-on-2 battle, but it's like if you do stuff like an open popping battle, an open hip hop battle, you know, like an evening of like, I know they want to do the crew things and they want to do the big spectacle stuff, but if you have like even 1 or 2 nights that are like, you know, let's just say like an open popping battle, an open hip hop battle, or maybe like a house or whatever, good prize money, you are like, and because like you said, like you have the FOMO and stuff, if you have a chance to compete as well in the week, like they'll get a whole load of like battlers from all around the surrounding countries flying in to, if they're like, right, Friday night you've got hip hop and popping battle with like, you know, 750 pound prize money or whatever it is, and then the Saturday is the world finals, most people will be like, fuck it, I'll fly in Friday and leave Sunday. That's like, we're all used to that. So I think you'll get a big influx of people if they do the programming right. Now if they go, oh, we're gonna have a flip in, I don't know, some influencery type of like people won't go because they don't feel like it's for them. But yeah, and then of course if they want to appeal to the general audience, fine, that's up to you. That's your beef. But yeah, I think they could get a lot of the battlers in, and yeah, be interested to see in Zurich where they announce 2027s. Be interesting to know.
Oh yeah, for the next
year, because each year at the thing they announce next year.
That makes sense.
So we shall see.
Ooh, exciting.
So people who have listened, thank you for tuning in. Leave in the comments your thoughts, feelings, opinions. If you disagree with me, if you disagree with the crowd in the room, totally valid. It's not really valid, but it's fine. You're valid in having an opinion. Your opinion might be wrong. And let us know what you thought of all the stuff. Ian, if you were there in LA, let us know what you thought of it. If you weren't there and you watched online, how was the live stream? I wasn't able to watch the live stream because I was on stage. It would be rude if I was looking at my phone. That would have been funny, watch the live stream on stage just to see myself. Also, Sway shook my hand, so I'm basically famous now. I'm friends with Eminem.
All right.
yeah, let us know your thoughts, feelings, opinions, and thanks for tuning in. If you came here for the Dance Your Style review and you don't know me, hi. Subscribe to the capsule. We love you. We would love to have you join us along this capsule journey for future episodes. We talk a lot of shit. We have a lot of fun. There's not just me every time. There's lots of other hosts that come through. We do interviews. So yeah, go and check those out. If you're here for the capsule and you don't know about Dance Your Style, now you know. I would recommend it. I think it's fun. I always say this. I think everything has its place. We need the small local club jams that run late and have a terrible lighting and are not fun to be at. We need those because they bring a certain thing to the scene. We also need Dance Your Style. We also need Beyond Doubt. We also need fucking, everything in between the two extremes. So I think people that are like, Dance Your Style need to do something more cultural. No, they don't. Like, they need to do what they do. You need to do what you do. And it is what it is. And that's what makes up the scene, is the whole spectrum of accessibility. Anyway, that is that. I'm going to wrap up because it's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without a dope beat. Step two.
Okay, that's enough.
All right, peace, guys. Have a good week.